there are so many things. It's not just abortion. It's human-killing research. We've got chimeras. We've got gender selection. We've got defects, whatever, Down syndrome and so on. Embryonic stem cell research and so on and so on and so on. There are a lot of things. We're fighting this battle of abortion, which to me is kind of like, going back to the ocean in this kind of scenario. Imagine this huge fish and you've got a spear gun. Talk about the broadside of the barn. Shoot, you should hit it. We should be hitting this fish. But we've got all these other things out there, like the human-killing research. If we can't hit this huge fish, how successful are we going to be on getting all those other little things that are there, that are working for them? Gender selection, people are flying to America to pick the males. Of course, India and China and other countries, they don't want females, so they come here to get rid of their females. And what is it? What is it about America that we're the country that they're coming to do that? It doesn't make any sense. It should be the opposite of that. We should be the ones that say, no, you're not coming here to get rid of your children. But they're doing it. And we should be saying, no, you can't kill your child just because you think it's going to have a defect. And how many children are born? I know of one in my church, and I know of other women, a woman who is the mother at a Taekwondo studio, and both of them tell me their mothers were told, have an abortion. They're going to be defective. And they weren't. Not that it makes a difference. I mean, defective, okay, whatever. I'm defective. I have an artificial leg. Maybe I wouldn't fit in the category of the 100% human beings, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be put in that spot, though. I mean, imagine a child be born and, hey, that one only has one leg. Let's get rid of that one, and we'll try for one with two legs. And really, it's not crazy. It is happening. So we know what we're up against. And I know that we hear talks about this all the time, of the insanity that we're up against. So what is it I'm proposing? That's why we're here. And really, that is one of the biggest things. Is when sometimes people say to me, they say, well, it's not so bad as you think. And I say, all I have to do is say the word ProLife Unity, and people's ears go up. And they think, can we do it? What is it? If it exists, what does it look like? So I can tell you some of the difficulties that I've run in. For me, like I say, I've been in this 2 years, and I'm bull in the china shop. That's God picked me, and he said, I need someone just to, and and on top of that, he needs someone to shoot from the hip, and that's what I do. I shoot from the hip, and I just roar forward. I make mistakes, I do, and gotten in trouble for some of them. Sometimes I miss things, sometimes I do things wrong, but I know my mission is correct. I'm pro-life, and I'm doing what I know God wants me to do right here, be with you folks, and help us figure out how we're going to work together to accomplish this goal of challenging the culture of death, because that's what we're talking about. And we say that, culture of death. We know what it is. We understand it completely. It's any time someone comes out and says something that kills a human being. So here we are, and I know I'm in the right place. So, bull in the china shop, you're lucky you haven't heard anything fall, you haven't seen anything hit the ground. I'm serious, I'm so bad. I mean, sometimes I'm around people, it's like my camera and the tripod, it's like doing a broadcast. I won't say when. But the broadcast wasn't happening yet. And I was getting set up and everything, and the camera just, it's like, okay, that's like the fifth time. That camera's got lots of scratches and dents on it. Okay, God picked me because I really barge around. But some of the things that I've done, and some of the things that I believe I've been chosen to do, is use technology, push hard, full speed ahead. What is it? What works? What doesn't work? How can we make things better? One of the things you're watching right here, live video. It's exciting. I went to Joe's out in Chicago. He was going to do a talk at Chicago University. I said, hey, how'd you like it if I filmed your event and showed it live? Well, I'm sure he didn't understand what he was talking about, what I was talking about, because a lot of people don't understand what that means, show it live. It's like, oh, you're going to pull up with a satellite truck and, no. I'm going to pull up with a computer and a camcorder, I'm going to hook it up, and the next thing you know, everyone in the world can see what you're doing. And right when I started, I called his son Eric, and I said, hey, Eric, I got this broadcast going. Why don't you do what you can, get the word out. So his son Eric sends out a message to his list, and come to find out, and like like Mark was saying, there was 20, 25 people in the audience. I called Joe the next week and I said, you had 20, 25 in the audience, you had over 150 watchers on the internet. And that was just one quick little email burst 3 minutes into the broadcast. Imagine if it would have been promoted. Okay? And it cost a little bit of money, but it wasn't that expensive. And really, the funds that could have been raised out of it would have been incredible. But that's one of the things. I'm pushing. I'm saying this can work. And people will always say, no, it can't. But until we try it, how do we know? And if we don't do it, the pro aborts are going to beat us to it. So I would rather be right there up front. I would rather be leading the way. We're doing it. We're leading the charge with technology. We're leading the charge with this type of unity that they don't have. They have a loose unity that puts them together pretty incredibly, if you ask me. But as far as a tight-knit unity, I don't think they have that. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing that. But that's one of the things as far as some of the things that I'm working on, the broadcast stuff. And some of the other things, the action code was mentioned. The action code is a simple code that goes on people's websites. Whoever wants to volunteer their website to participate as part of the ProLife Unity project, ProLifeUnity.com. And it's a line of code that long. Put it on your website in the right or the left or somewhere where you want it. And then when I write a post on a website on ProLifeUnity.com, there's a special section I put it in. It updates everybody's websites with that post. So if you say, hey, there's something happening over at this abortion mill, 3 o'clock, there's a big thing, everybody come out here really quick. You send me a message, I post it, it goes up there. Now, I don't put up stuff that's crazy, and it's been up for over a year and a half. So, I mean, I've had people say to me, I don't want to do it because you're going to just put up crazy things. And it's like, well, look at the history and tell me if the history is bad. If the history is bad, then maybe we'll talk about it. But I think the history is good. I put up things that I think need to be addressed. Operation Rescue has events, and Kansas Coalition, and so on and so on. And I put them out there because they need to be out there. And on a good day, on the best day, over 13,000 people saw that code. On the best day, on the best month, 230,000 people saw that code. Okay, so that's not how many people came to ProLifeUnity.com. That's not the point. That's how many people saw the code. So if there was an action item, all those websites, I have 20 member websites, and all of those websites are showing that code to all these people. How many it's hitting and what's really happened, I don't know. It's not important. The important thing is it's happening and people are participating. Okay, so that's another thing that's happening. You don't see anything red on the screen over there, do you? Okay, great. I flew into town and massive allergies. I was telling Troy that ProLife Unity blew into town because that wind was incredible and landing in it was intense, I can tell you. And I was sitting up front. I don't know if you ever landed in front in the wind. You live in Kansas. You probably all have. I don't know.
You might see Dorothy's house blowing by.
Yeah, right. It was intense. So anyway, the action code is another item. The other thing I do is the monthly call for life. It's the only nationwide pro-life action call to life every month on the first Friday. Call and email your representatives. Tell them defend life and stop human killing research. It's simple. Email them and call them. You'll get letters from them, and you'll see what their positions are, and you'll see where their positions switch. They'll shift. ProLifeUnity.com, the monthly call for life, ProLifeNews.tv. What do we use that for? We help show your events and help get you out there. So if you have an event, if you have an effort, can you get the point that what I'm doing is promoting your efforts more than anything? I'm saying, what do you do? How can I help you? And I figure that's what God's picked me for, figure out the technology, communicate with people, figure out how we can work together, and let's start establishing a closer-knit community. Let's figure out where our strengths are. Let's figure out where our weaknesses are. I don't know. I'm just trying to gather us together. I haven't the foggiest idea where those are yet because we've yet to really come together and make this happen. But it's a start. We're starting.